There's one victory standing in your way from the Fantasy Football Championship. And in Week 16 of the NFL season, you are looking for the best wide receivers to start to punch your ticket to the Fantasy Football Championship. So on today's episode of the Regression to the Mean podcast, we have the only wide receiver rankings you will need to get there, to the promised land, the Fantasy Championship. I'm your host, Sean. I'm joined by my good friends, my fellow knowers of ball, my fellow co-hosts, Keegan Thompson and Aiden Haller. Boys, we just wrapped up the running backs episode. Keegan's triumphant return here to the channel. If you are newer to the channel over the past month and you don't know who Keegan Thompson is, Keegan, why don't you introduce yourself? What's your favorite color? Where'd you grow up? Who's your favorite football team?
Icebreaker activities. Yeah, we won't talk about favorite football teams or my favorite color. They happen to be correlated, but yeah, no.
Correlation.
If you're tuning in for the first time today and seeing my lovely face, yes, I am a part of this podcast. I have been on hiatus dealing with a move across country. If you're in the Eastern time zone, drop some love and we can commiserate on how shitty it is to watch sports on the East Coast together. And if you're back watching another video because you're already part of the Mean Team, good to see you again. I can't wait to go through some comments this week and chat about the rankings. And like I mentioned, for you new folks, hang around a little bit. We're going to deliver some top-notch rankings. Sean's going to tell you all about his RTM score. We're going to talk implied team totals today. We're going to talk about what wide receivers will help you punch your ticket to the Fantasy Football Championship so you can forever hold something on your best friends, your college friends, your high school friends, if you're still in a league with them, or your coworkers. And you're going to comment and you're going to ask questions and we're going to give you advice. And Aiden's going to be there telling you who to start and who to sit.
Wow.
And when you're done, you're going to subscribe and you're going to join us for the off season because it doesn't stop here with RTM.
Wow.
We will continue on into the offseason and continue to give you football coverage. And if you made it that far, thank you for listening.
Don't let him get hot. Oh, my goodness. We didn't even get through how are you doing before he was pubbing the pod. Keegan Thompson is back in the saddle, baby. That's the stuff we love to see. That is our good friend from Texas, Keegan Thompson, the man, the myth. Aiden, how do you follow that up, man? How do you do that?
I can't.
Do we just dive? Do we just dive in?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta give the flowers and move along. But no, I'm feeling alive. Running backs first is always nice because wide receivers is what it's all about. These are the money makers. So I'm excited, Keegan. Way to set the fucking tone, man. Let's talk wide receivers.
We're kind of shoving it to the wide receivers are busting, because who's carrying me into fantasy playoffs and hopefully championship glory is wide receivers,
running back.
Baby.
Oh, nice.
The running backs.
Just the right
Zero
ones.
RB bros are back. The wide receiver bros are back. The bro bust boys are in consolation brackets and missing championships. Feels good.
The zero RB bros are just touting Chase Brown. That's all they got right now.
Rico Daddle, Chase Brown.
Did you just throw shade at me because I started 4 running backs against you? Is that what you're doing?
It didn't work.
Well, I would have started Chris Godwin and Rashee Rice, but they were dead. So
they died.
They died. We love you. We love you, right, God. That was just like that. Whatever. All right, let's
get into
wide
it, baby.
receivers. Wide receivers. We've got 53 of them. I don't know why I ranked 53 of them, but I did. Keegan,
quick show note. Aiden just texted our group chat. I know we just did running backs, and this is not the running back episode. But if you're watching this after the running back episode, K9 fully cleared or fully practiced?
Fully practiced.
Full participant.
He's going to play. Yeah, he's going to play.
So just put him in exactly where Charbonnet was. I had Charbonnet at running back 18. That's where Kenneth Walker's going to be. It's just in time, K9, for my 4th place games. Appreciate it, man. All right. Okay, so my rankings. Keegan's already hinted at a couple things. RTM score, implied team total rank. So I've got the screen up here. You're watching on YouTube. I'm going to walk you through this really quickly before we dive in. So I like to take a look at a bunch of different factors on why a receiver will pop in a given week. The first thing I like to do is their implied team total rank. This is ITT rank. This tells you where this team that this wide receiver plays for stacks up against other wide receivers based off of what Vegas thinks their offense is going to do. That was a word salad, but essentially high number go Burr, high number good. Okay. If you're in the top 3, 5, it means the offense is probably going to have a good week based off what Vegas is projecting. ECR is the expert consensus rankings over at Fantasy Pros. This is an aggregate total ranking of the top 100 fantasy experts over at Fantasy Pros. I want to give you an idea of where the rest of the industry is ranking this wide receiver, and I want to tell you where I'm at versus the rest of the industry, why I'm high or low, guys that I'm willing to take a stand on this week. I like to take a look at past month production. So fantasy points per game, what have they done over the past month? And I like to pair that with expected fantasy points per game, which is their usage. The efficiency column. We want to tell you how good this player is based off their usage. We also want to see if they're a negative or positive regression candidate. And then we take a look at the defense that the wide receiver is going against and how many points per game they're giving up to wide receivers. And we're comparing that across the rest of the league. From there, we build out an RTM score, and then I have a pretty good projection that I feel good about based off of all of those factors. So low RTM score, means good matchup. High RTM score means kind of bad matchup based off usage and overall game script. All right, boys, that's it. I got wide receivers 1 through 8, tier 1. Let's jump in. All right, wide receiver 1 is Ja'Marr Chase. I don't think anyone's disputing that. Wide receiver 2, Puka Nacua. 3, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 4, Nico Collins. 5, Mike Evans. 6, Justin Jefferson. 7, Davante Adams. 8, CeeDee Lamb. So Ja'Marr Chase, again, Cincy most likely steamrolls here. Cleveland is like kind of trending towards the worst team in the league. They're like a top 3 pick potentially, and they're playing Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I think Chase is going to continue his pace. He's most likely going to be one of the most owned players on championship rosters, in my opinion. Puka Nacua. Oh my goodness. Puka Nacua. Jets secondary is falling apart. It's back-to-back weeks that the Jets secondary has gotten owned because of injuries. Puka is the alpha right now. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So Chicago, they're just giving up. And I think that Detroit is going to up their pass rate with David Montgomery out. So I think if you have pass catchers with the Lions, I think they're going to pass more. Their defense is going to give up more points, and I think this is good for Amon-Ra. Would not be shocked if Amon-Ra and Jared Goff is a combination that wins people fantasy championships. Nico Collins, I think he's going to go off. No one on KC can guard Nico Collins. It's time for a touchdown or 2 or 3. Nico's that kind of player. Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, yesterday, when asked about the 1K streak, Baker Mayfield said, I think about his 1K streak more than he does. Mike Evans, at the end of the fantasy season, is one of the more elite guys that you can have. Mike Evans is my top 5 this week. Justin Jefferson, the lowish implied team total we discovered is probably due to weather. He's still Jettis, but I'm a little anxious about that. Davante Adams is all of a sudden prime Davante Adams again. He 40 bombed me in a matchup last week. That was fun. And CeeDee Lamb here. Ceiling's kind of gone, but his floor is awesome. He's still like a top 8, top 9 play, in my opinion. That is tier 1. Keegan, what are your thoughts, man?
Of the top 7 wide receiver fantasy usage by teams, there are 5 wide receivers in this stage here. So I like where all of them, Mike Evans, Davante Adams, CeeDee Lamb, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ja'Marr Chase, Puka Nacua, like all of their teams are top of the league right now on wide receiver usage on an expected half points PPR basis. So I love where all of them are at. I think you can move around any of them to your flavor, but Ja'Marr Chase is definitely going to win some people some championships if he keeps this up. And yeah, the squeaky wheel narrative for Mike Evans' 1K challenge is so strong. I would not be surprised to have him go for another 100-yard game. I think he only needs to average 79 a game over the remaining couple weeks to get to that 1,000 yard total. So
like 250 total. I forget what it was.
And it's funny you say that about CeeDee. Like, yeah, maybe the ceiling is not there with Cooper Rush, but like his floor is almost what some people's ceilings are that we'll discuss later in the rankings. So like a very safe play here. But I'm loving all this. Davante Adams, wide receiver 1 on wide receiver 1 usage right now over the past couple weeks. So
insane.
That's pretty cool to see. Just in time for the fantasy playoffs. I've been reaping the benefits of some of that. So yeah, great tier. I feel like these guys are all studs this year. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, I feel like we don't talk about him a lot. I know I've been missing some episodes, but he's just been quietly shredding PPR wide receiver production this year and has really bounced back towards the end of the year here. So love it. It's a good 8 here.
Yeah, not much. Just to Mike Evans, I think that passing attack and really offense in general is going to go kind of nuts this week. Mike Evans also from Texas, so a homecoming of sort. Is that in Dallas? Sorry, is that in Dallas or is that in Tampa? Yeah, that's in Dallas on Sunday Night Football. Yeah, a bit of a homecoming. He's from Galveston. It's not Dallas, but it's Texas. It's the same
No,
thing.
him
So
and Baker are both Texas guys, so they're
yeah, so they're
technically
both
home.
Texas. Yeah, so they're definitely going to get up for that game. I think they absolutely blow the brakes off of them. So excited, and then excited for Nico too. I think Sean said it. There's really no one in the league that can cover Nico. I think in terms of like talent wise, it's Jamar and Jetta's 1-2, and then Nico's my third. In terms of just absolute alpha dogs in the NFL right now. So been good to see him get back. 2-touchdown performance last week. Expect him to do a lot of the same. So absolute alphas in this tier. You could probably even squeeze up AJ Brown after getting his way last week, but yeah, really good tier.
Yeah, I think the Marshawn Lattimore thing's for real. We can discuss a little bit. Let's just get to tier 2.
Yeah,
We'll get to tier 2 here. Okay, so tier 2 here, wide receivers 9 through 16. I've got AJ Brown, Courtland Sutton, Jaxon, Smith-Njigba, Cooper Kupp, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Brian Thomas, Tyreek Hill. So I've got some big stands here that we'll get into. So I'm a little bit down on AJ Brown versus ECR. Great matchup. In terms of like up in pace, I think this is like a high scoring game. So I definitely like that. I don't know. Like if they keep airing it out and he has another really good game, that's great. But now like DeVonta Smith's getting the rock. And I just feel like AJ Brown's really appropriately nestled in right here. I like him at wide receiver 9. Sutton, this is a great spot for Sutton versus the Chargers. I feel like every time I watch the Chargers, their secondary is getting roasted or just committing egregious holding or PI penalties like every other play. So that it'll be probably a good game for Sutton. We're recording this Thursday night. JSN, I'm taking a stand. I got 5 spots ahead of expert consensus rankings. Minnesota has given up the most points per game to wide receivers this season. Geno is playing. I know there's rain, but JSN's the wide receiver 1 in this offense, hands down. Get him the rock. Cooper Kupp, this is a bit of a squeaky wheel game. I know he's not complaining in the media, but this man's getting made fun of for cardio on the internet. This is like Cooper Kupp we're talking about here. I would not be shocked if he had a nice bounce back game here against the Jets. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm kind of taking a stand on Kupp. Drake London, I'm excited about the Penix Patrol. I think it's big for Drake London. I'm starting him this week, no problem. Terry McLaurin should have had a 50 bomb last week. Come on, man. Brian Thomas. So people are really excited about Brian Thomas. I get it. The guy's incredible. He's having an amazing rookie season. The run out has been insane. You have Evan Ingram getting hurt. You have Christian Kirk getting hurt. Like, it's just Mac Jones out there throwing the ball up to Brian Thomas in garbage time. It's like just perfect for fantasy points. What I will say about Brian Thomas, Vegas has just been good against wide receivers. So I'm not saying Brian Thomas is a bad start, but I don't think I'd have him top 10 right now, even though the volume and the production has been awesome for Thomas. Tyreek Hill, this is a tough matchup against San Francisco in their secondary. He was like had some coded tweets this week about leaving, getting gray hairs. I don't really know what that was about. Is that a squeaky wheel game for Tyreek? I don't know. That last Tua touchdown, the ball was literally in Tyreek's hands and it somehow got intercepted. So I'm not out here. I don't think Tyreek should necessarily be blaming Tua at this point, but Tua isn't really playing well. Dolphins are kind of a mess, but I don't know, man. I'm not overthinking it with Tyreek Hill. I'm going to play him if you got him. All right, that's tier 2. Aiden, what do you think, man? 9 through 16. Any thoughts?
Excited for Drake London to get a QB change. He hit home with a touchdown last week, but man, without a touchdown, you're looking at a pretty bad game due to Mr. Kirk Cousins. So excited. There's just no way it looks worse than it has over the last month with Kirk Cousins. So big boost for Mooney, who's kind of fallen off over the last. It could, I guess, but I don't know.
Will, but it could.
We'll see. So really excited for that. We talked about it on the running backs, but keep an eye on the weather in Seattle. JSN has an amazing matchup this week, but a downpour of rain could potentially put a hinder on that. So you're going to play him regardless, but if it's dumping rain, it could put a ceiling on what should be an awesome matchup. Other than that, though, yeah, this is a good man. Terry's got a tough matchup. We'll see. This is big bragging rights game in the NFC East. Even though they're a couple games apart, I feel like this would be a big win for a young Commanders team.
What do you think of Keegan?
Get me Brian Thomas all the way up up, right behind AJ Brown. Let's put AJ Brown in the tier 1.
Oh,
Let's
no.
cut that tier right there.
Oh,
Let's
my
put Brian
God.
Thomas right up there at number 10 to kick off this tier 2. Look, he just shredded the Jets with Mac Jones. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that a Raiders defense with no Christian Wilkins and no Max Crosby is better than the Jets defense. And you're not going to sit here and tell me that they're going to compete and score points either that much. I just feel like the Jaguars are poised to be in a good spot with this matchup here. The defense is super banged up for the Raiders. Brian Thomas we're looking at like a 30+% versus target share. I mean, the injuries, like you said, the run out has been insane. The guy can ball at all levels of the field. Love Brian Thomas again this week. And let's get Terry McLaurin up. Another injury run out situation
Sound
for
like Chris
Washington
Berman.
Commanders. But another injury run out situation, and Cliff and Washington's staff is finally moving Terry around the formation a little bit. I mean, some of his biggest plays came on the right side of the field, where at the beginning of the year he was running like 40 of 45 routes all from the left side of the field. So that's super encouraging to see him be the focal point of like some passing concepts. And I don't know what to think about Tyreek Hill and Drake London. I mean, Tyreek Hill, you're going to start, but Drake London, I mean, all signs, just looking at the run out for the Washington wide receivers, all signs point to maybe Michael Penix being a wide receiver elevator. So could be good for Drake London to have Michael Penix in the lineup. But yeah, my biggest thing is let's get Terry up and let's get Brian Thomas up.
All right, I'll get Thomas. I'm not putting him in front of JSN. It's not happening. But I'll get Thomas here. Got him at 12.
Terry was like inches away from having a 50-point game, and they weren't even really his fault.
Yeah, but receivers are they just don't do anything against Philadelphia. But look, his RTM score is higher. Okay, we'll get Terry at a Kupp. If you get your way, Thompson. All right. Oh, did I forget
let me
13?
do this for you.
Okay. I can't count, guys. If you've been tuning in all year, you know. Yeah, this is just an issue for me.
I'm excited for you to kick off this tier with your favorite player.
Yeah, let's talk about him.
Okay, so tier 3, wide receiver 17 to 24. T. Higgins, Malik Nabers, Lad McConkey, Garrett Wilson, DeVonta Smith, Jordan Addison, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. So T didn't practice today.
Oh,
all right,
yeah.
so the T on that
is correct.
He did practice. He was doing stuff on the side. He was doing individual drills, and he's expected to be out there tomorrow. So,
okay.
That was like we expect T. Higgins to score points in big games, and he doesn't do it.
Hey, he did last week for me. So
He did. T had a good game.
No,
but T's really good. I've now come around on T to the point where like really good wide receiver. I would not trust him to hold my baby, but really, really nice guy. So, like great wide receiver. Seems like a hell of a teammate. But I would not trust him in the biggest moments. But T. Higgins, you got to play him, even though I just said that. Usage has been great. He's a positive regression candidate. Cleveland's going to get shellacked, I think, here. His RTM scores through the roof. The system loves him. The only issue is when you play T. Higgins, you're just going to see Jamar Chase usually go off instead. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think he's a good play. Nabers remains a positive regression candidate. Top 5 usage, top 21 production. Atlanta's gotten absolutely thrown around by wide receivers this year, so that has to feel good. Lad, if you play him tonight, he's a target hog. Denver's brutal to wide receivers. Garrett Wilson trending way up. Got to feel good about that. Smitty, welcome back, man. You are a hell of a wide receiver. Good to see you playing well. Good to see this offense pass the ball a little bit more. Jordan Addison, what a player in year 2. He's just been spectacular over the past month, dunking on usage, top 6 production. Jerry Jeudy's gotten a lot of love over the past month. I think Jordan Addison has been just an under-the-radar league winner that not enough people have been talking about. And I've got both the Chicago guys. It's not going to be pretty.
Or Jordan Addison, Sean.
DJ Moore and Keenan Allen here. Jordan Addison for sure. Jordan Addison for sure. I had a hot take. Hey, look, you're not going to win every hot take you have, guys. It's just how the shit goes. I say Rashee Rice is Amon-Ra St. Brown 2.0. That looks like it's going to bear out. Then his knee explodes. And then I say Jalen Nailor's better than Jordan Addison. And all of a sudden, Jordan Addison turns into the second coming. So it's just how this goes sometimes.
Can you say that T. Higgins will get outscored by Jamar Chase? I just need to work some magic here and test a theory.
I'm doing something here.
I don't know, man. No, I think I don't know. We'll see. I like both those guys. And then the Bears. Don't watch it, but the production and the usage has been awesome for these two. Please don't, Aiden. I love you too much, man.
I can't wait for him to not be on the roster anymore. It's so bad for the Chicago. The spacing with frickin' Keenan Allen is so fucking bad. So bad.
So have you come around on my take that he's basically just a tight end? He's just like Travis Kelce out there. You're like running a 2 tight end offense, but he's out there, man.
The whole thing's fucked, and he has like a 30% target share. The whole thing's bad. But I like DJ this week actually. DJ had a good game against.
But
he had a good game against Detroit.
Okay. Tier 3, Keegan. Before we pass it over to Aiden, what are your thoughts here, man?
No, I like where T. Higgins is at. He, of course, leading the tier. That makes me happy, of course. DeVonta Smith has been, on a hot streak recently, and I think the passing game uptick has been nice. I like Jalen and co responding to that, but why not Malik Nabers in tier 2? I mean, why not Malik Nabers? I mean, season high in routes last week.
No bias.
I'm just saying, 11 targets out of the slot last week. Yeah. Production went crazy. Screens, fades, everything you could imagine. Catches the touchdown. Third fewest points for the Giants, but the Falcons have also allowed the 4th most points, the fantasy wide receivers. So why not Nabers this week? Let's run it back with Nabers.
He
scares me.
Start. I
think he'll
I'm starting him.
His PPR floor is really nice, but he has to score to give you a big game. I don't.
Dude, I'll take the 6 for 72 this week.
Yeah. To me. That's why I think he's the price is right here. The price is good there.
Also, I know this is going to be late, but I wouldn't be shocked to see Lad McConkey actually play really well tonight. They don't have Riley Moss in the lineup, and I think the Surtain is more of a Quentin Johnston and Josh Palmer thing. So. This will come out way after that game, but just trying to call my shot. I think Lad's gonna have a good game.
Well, Jeudy went nuts against the Broncos because he didn't get the Surtain shadow coverage. So I do think that is a interesting hypothesis. But my take is that the Broncos, they basically got to win this game. Why on earth would you have Surtain not try and get on McConkey as much as possible? So I feel you though, Keegan. I do think that's an interesting theory. That's why I have McConkey still here at 19. And QJ, I've got him down in the 50s because of the Surtain thing.
Fair.
Tier 4 here, wide receivers 25 to 33. Jakobi Meyers, Zay Flowers, Jauan Jennings, Khalil Shakir, Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, Calvin Ridley, Romeo Doubs, Marvin Harrison. So Jakobi Meyers, if AOC is playing, I want it. I want in. Jacksonville's defense stinks.
Is he trending?
Jakobi Meyers. He was in reports last week that he might play. They're holding out hope.
Injury. Back full participant on Wednesday. Wow, I didn't know that. That's good to know.
Again, this is how sad it is, but yes, if Jakobi Meyers is playing, I do think that he is capable of scoring 16 PPR points.
That's a huge. Yes. Desmond Ridder was fucking horrendous.
Garbanzo beans, but we already knew this. Terrible quarterback.
Yeah, we knew that.
Professional. He is not an NFL quarterback. Zay Flowers. What is going on here? I mean, this is terrible. I mean, the guys.
Aiden might have been right preseason.
He might have been. Never wrong, just early. Just never wrong, just early.
He's still wide receiver 15, but I always thought the ceiling
of
a monster was capped. Yeah,
he was amazing for a little bit. But someone might be saying that Rashad Bateman lunch taking.
Let's go.
Rashad Bateman was in a walking boot today, I believe. So
Deontay Johnson nowhere to be seen.
Keegan said, "Hold that thought." Actually, hold that thought.
Yeah. The guy who's been, we make lunch jokes all the time, but it's Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews has totally emerged in the second half of this season for that offense. So just something to keep in mind here. Of Jauan Jennings, guys love to rank him high. Guys love to rank him high. He has had some huge spike weeks. He's also had some kind of, weeks. Risky start in my opinion, but ceiling is super high. Shakir, who doesn't want to start this Bills offense, and Shakir is now, remember, Aiden, for 3 weeks, positive regression candidate. What do we have here? Aiden?
Regression, positive regression.
What do we have? Even.
Oh,
It's even.
we're right back to where we belong.
We're right back where we belong, baby. It's almost like regression matters. Jerry Jeudy, we hardly knew you. Well, goodbye, Jameis.
Speaking
we'll always
of regression, yeah, we're going the wrong way.
For your
Probably
1,000-yard season, Jerry G. We're very happy for you, and we'll see you next year.
We'll always have Paris. DeAndre Hopkins. They just, again, I was talking about this on the running back show. They seem like a team that just wants to try and get Xavier Worthy a little run, try and build him up, try and develop him, and they're going to take DeAndre Hopkins out of the garage in the playoffs. He seems firmly in the garage.
Maybe Dylan Raiola should figure out how to throw the long ball again, because a lot of it seems to be Patrick Mahomes' fault.
It really does, because I'm watching people complain about Xavier Worthy on Twitter, and I don't run routes. Okay, I've never ran. As you can tell, I do not have a body that run routes. But I'm sitting here like, I'm sitting here. I'm like, what am I missing here? Because I trying to keep an open mind, but I'm like, how is this odd Worthy? Like, and it might just be they don't have chemistry. I don't know, because his deep balls to Hopkins are on a dime. So I really don't get it. Hopefully it improves in year 2, but this, of course, everything comes back to Worthy. We'll talk about him in the next year. Calvin Ridley, positive regression candidate, and you've got a backup quarterback who can get him the ball, throwing him the ball with Levis benched. Romeo Doubs. This guy, weirdly enough, is the key to the Packers' pass attack. Every time he plays, their offense is night and day better as a passing unit. So I don't know if that translates into really good fantasy production, but Romeo Doubs last year went on a tear at the end of the year. I could totally see him doing it again. And then Marvin Harrison Jr., the biggest regression candidate right now. Wide receiver 19 usage, wide receiver 50 production. I mean, the guy is a screaming positive regression candidate, and he's going to score 3 touchdowns in everyone's consolation bracket. You know it's going to happen. But yeah, that's it for tier 4 guys. What are you guys thinking? Aiden, I heard you said you're done with MHJ. What's going on there?
I'm done. He is so weak at the point of catch. It's like it's brutal to watch. I know Christian Gonzalez is really good, but like I don't think we've seen him come down with like one contested catch this year. It just feels like everything has to be perfect for him. And I know like some analysts, like Matt Harmon in particular, like they were like, this is a small concern, but at the point of catch, he's pretty weak. He's just been getting big dogged at the point. So we'll see. He is a big positive regression candidate, but it feels like it has to be perfect. And like he has to have yards of separation to be safe. So we'll see. Really my only thoughts here. I think Romeo Doubs is actually a great play too. This passing attack is cruising. New Orleans is playing like crap against wide receivers. So I actually like the bottom of this tier. I'd prefer to play them over honestly some of the guys above them personally. Yeah. Doubs, man. Great play.
Marvin Harrison only has like 2 drops on the year. It's just he's just not in a position to score.
Just make a play.
Yeah, because they're not drops. It's more just like
make the play.
Just make the play.
Just you had both hands on it. Like I get that somebody like had a really excellent PBU, but who did we watch make a crazy catch? Like
Michael Wilson does it every week.
But
Wilson does it every week.
But we were watching like a tight end, like a random tight end, just absolutely do the exact, be in the same exact situation as Marvin Harrison. We were talking about it on Red Zone, and he came down with the ball. Like he just got it.
Just do your job. I don't remember who it was.
Okay, Bill Belichick. But yes, I mean, I agree, Aiden. Like, just be clutch. Just make a play.
Ball, bro. Yeah, I think if you're in this tier, like you're just trying to play people based off implied team totals. Like, Shakir, I think that's a good play this week. Just Buffalo's protection to score so many points. Like, I think you still put Zay in the lineup. Same with Doubs. I mean, Doubs ran a route on like 90% of the team snaps last week. He's definitely someone they want to get very involved. I know he didn't have the same stats that you would like to see, but he's extremely involved in their offense, and he's definitely a motor that helps them go. And he's out there a ton. So I think Dobbs, but Marvin Harrison, it's Carolina. We got to remember that. It's the goddamn Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
Marvin could be really big to avoid your last place punishment this week.
I will say though, like MHJ, this is a James Conner game. We're gonna all roads go back to Conner, but this is a Conner game. Carolina is terrible against running backs, and Kyler is just the most inconsistent guy, and it's just screaming for James Conner to score 3 touchdowns. That's what this is shaping up to be. No matter how much we want to avoid it, he is inevitable, guys.
Don't say that.
Sean's like that Gatorade commercial where Paul George wakes up in an absolute sweat, but Sean just wakes up from dreaming about like a James Conner sleeper notification that he scored another touchdown.
And what's crazy is I don't think I'm playing in any leagues this week, but now I have Kyler in a league in the semis, and I'm like, this man is now haunting me in a way I did not imagine him to haunt me. I didn't anticipate for this. But man, he's a good player. Good for James Conner, man. Yeah, give me night sweats. Tier 4, wide receivers 34 to 43. Sexual Thielen, Xavier Worthy, Jameson Williams, Jalen McMillan, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, DK Metcalf, Jaden Reed, Amari Cooper, Rome Dunze. Thielen remains a reliable flex option. Xavier Worthy, nice to see you, man. You're getting force-fed targets. He looks pretty good right now, so I like Worthy as a flex guy this week. JMO. I'm interested in JMO. I think pass rate could be up for the Lions, and it could be a nice floor raiser here with David Montgomery out. Jalen McMillan's been awesome the past 2 weeks. He's in a shootout against Dallas. No Trayvon Diggs, so I just think everything is going to get passed down in terms of really bad corners. Probably going to be guarding Jalen McMillan, which will be good for him. Josh Downs and Michael Pittman. Brutal spot to trust either guys, but the usage will be there. Will the completion percentage or just anything good about that offense? DK Metcalf trending way down. Jaden Reed, infuriating usage. Man, you got a Ferrari in the garage and you're treating him like a go-kart. Let's get Jaden Reed out there, man.
Let's be careful with the Ferrari.
Dude, Jaden Reed is so good.
Audi
Jaden
R8
Reed is so good.
Yeah, he's like
R8's a sick car.
That's
All
probably
right.
a bit much.
It's not a Ferrari. Let's just be careful.
How about
Like a
Wow, you're not a
BMW
car guy?
series.
like an older Corvette.
Corvette.
Not the new ones. Those are fucking sick.
DK Metcalf's a Corvette. It's all name brand.
No, he's a Ford Raptor, bro. That dude's huge.
Amari Cooper, we say it every week. Hard to trust him.
You can't.
You
can't.
No. And Rome Dunze, he is trending up, folks. Kind of TD bust, but it's a good matchup. All right, tier 5, Aiden. What do we think?
Man, it's just getting dark once you get here.
I don't like that sigh, Aiden.
Adam Thielen in the year 2024 is like by far my favorite guy in this tier, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, McMillan, good matchup. Same with DK, but it's raining. Jaden Reed. Amari is so low. I don't know, dude. This is a tough tier. I'm not starting anyone in this tier this week, which makes me feel pretty good because I don't know what to think about any of these guys, really. One of the indie guys actually will pop. I don't know who, but like one of them have to pop, and my guess would be Downs.
It's a lot of a lot of your guys, Keegan. a lot of Keegan's fellas in here. What do you think?
This is like the Keegan tier for sure. But I think JMO
Downs
and
with Billy
JMO this week. Yeah, no, this is like legit my tier of guys. The McMillan start is actually really interesting to me. Like I have a debate here because Waddle's probably not playing this week, so it's like Josh Downs or Jalen McMillan this week, and I go and look at some stuff on reading an article on Fantasy Points Data Suite today, and Josh Downs in 6 games with Anthony Richardson is seeing a 3.7 catchable target rate per game with Anthony Richardson. I mean, that's horrible. I don't know how you can trust it. And I feel bad because Josh Downs is an insanely good player, but like you're banking on the consistency of Anthony Richardson, and he's not in a situation where he can outperform expectations because he needs his quarterback to do so. So I think I'm still leaning like McMillan over that start. But the rest of these guys,
the game script is terrible for
game script's going to be pretty
too.
gross. I think isn't Pittman banged up? as well.
He's always banged up.
But Pittman and Pierce are both banged up. Like if they didn't play, I'd be like, yeah, I'm starting Josh Downs no matter what. But I think
Pittman
McMillan in the
practiced.
shootout.
Pittman's back.
That makes me want to avoid Josh Downs. But if I'm looking at any of these, I'm probably going like Jameson and Jalen McMillan purely off game script, implied team totals, and just like hoping for some shootouts for both of them and like some points being scored. And gosh, look how they massacred my boy DK Metcalf, wide receiver 40 on the week, ranked by yours truly here at RTM. I mean, that's just
tough.
And that's high. And that's too high. It's too high. In my opinion, man. Like DK has been awful. 44 in usage, 56 in production. Even if he is a positive progression candidate, you're looking at wide receiver 40.
And of course, that we found out in the RB episode, there's going to be some brutal weather in that game.
A lot of rain. Yeah.
The top 5 guys in this tier, like I would play in a playoff matchup, in a toilet bowl, whatever it is. I would play the top 5 guys here.
There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Worthy this week. I know this is a shocker.
Oh, here we go again.
He's my new JSN.
Better. It's slowly getting better.
He's my new JSN. But I swear, last game he looked awesome. And he looked awesome like how he did in college. All underneath stuff. They just need to get him stuff underneath and just say, you know what? Yeah, he's built like a twig, but you just have to live with it. Like, that's where Worthy is good. He's making guys miss. He looked fast, look explosive. I like this for Xavier Worthy. All right, last tier here, guys. Let's get out of here. Wide receivers 44 to 53. When you're starting with Tim Patrick.
There's some names in here that make me sad.
Christian Watson, Jalen Coker, Deebo Samuel, Tank Dell,
that one hurts.
Keon Coleman, Quentin Johnson, Wan'Dale Robinson, Parker Washington, Michael Wilson.
Did I miss a Darnell Mooney ranking somewhere in here?
Oh, wow. He didn't make it in. Darnell Mooney is going to go at wide receiver.
He should be around like 30 probably.
Yeah, I've got him at – that's easy. Let's do 33 Darnell Mooney.
Let's catch Keegan.
ATL.
Yeah, that was just a little bit random. I was just thinking about some names that I hadn't heard as we got down here, and I'm like, there's some other Atlanta pass catchers who are probably deserve to be above Parker Washington and Wan'Dale Robinson and UJ. I'm like, just double checking here.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. All things considered. And they're playing what? Who are they playing? Vegas? Who's Atlanta playing this week? No, the Giants? Giants.
Yes.
No Hollywood Brown love?
Not yet. Not yet. They said he might be activated, right? It's unofficial.
He's off the injury report.
I want to talk about Tank Dell real fast. What a bummer, dude. I don't know.
You're going to say, what a bum. I was like, hey.
Are we drafting him next year? Incompetent?
Yes, dude. Year 2 after the massive leg break, we are drafting Tank Dell.
Oh, Tank?
Left Diggs on a different team for sure.
Nico just keeps getting better, man. It might just be Nico or bust for me in that offense.
Bobby Slowick, let's be real here. Bobby Slowick sucks.
Run pass,
dude.
I am very firmly in this guy stinks. Just stinks. I have no idea what he's doing. He is not good.
Future New York Giant head coach.
That guy, if that guy gets a head coaching job, we're doomed as a society because he sucks. I'm sorry. Not good. Terrible. And again, Aiden, you called it last year when Bobby Slowick broke Tank Dell's leg. That's something we should have known. Should have known.
That cost me. That cost me some money, Bobby Slowick.
I had Tank Dell last year in the league, and it was a bummer. It was like a secret unlock. I got him off waivers. I was like, I'm going to win this league.
We had him playing fullback on the 2-yard line, dude. What are we doing? Dude's like 150.
It's all the difference.
Out.
It's all the difference. That's how you know you're going to score.
This tier, brutal. Honestly, Coker if XL doesn't play, and then Christian Watson if you like clenching your butt cheeks for 60 minutes hoping for one deep ball. It's probably the only guys. Debo is dead.
If you start Debo this week and you're in the semis, I don't know how you got here.
I don't feel bad for you either.
There's no chance anybody has a roster that has Debo in the semis.
Debo has been the worst pick in all of fantasy football. Because he missed one game due to injury. He's been healthy. He has had Christian McCaffrey get hurt, like Brandon Ayuk get hurt.
The run out.
I'm telling you, man, he has done as little as possible with the opportunity he got this season. Like if I told you at the beginning of the year, Aiden, CMC plays 4 games, Ayuk plays 4 games.
Oh, he's wide receiver 50. I thought it was.
If I told you that, what would you say? Debo's a top 12 wide receiver?
To the moon. Yeah, no, this is tough. I didn't realize
that's a doom. That's a doom.
Round 4. That's a big doom.
It's a big doom.
Big doom.
Tough.
Massive doom. Jalen Coker's a great start this week. Again, I don't know why you'd be starting Jalen Coker in the semis.
I might roll him out in a toilet bowl.
I
might roll him out in a toilet bowl.
Yeah. Cokeheads, stand up, man. I think Jalen Coker's a really fun start. Keegan, what do you think before we get out of here?
No, like you play Christian Watson and you hope for a home run, but like anybody else who's on your roster that's in this tier, like I really hope you don't have to start. I'd love to hype up Keon Coleman. The Buffalo Bills are going to score a ton of points this week, but the ball just goes to everybody in that offense. It's just not concentrated. I don't even think Keon's had a bad year, to be honest. Like I think he's pretty impactful with the little plays he makes, but you never know who's getting the ball. I mean, Ty Johnson's getting run, Shakir's getting run. All the tight ends get involved. Josh is scoring rushing touchdowns. It's impossible to predict. And then, QJ, what a season. What a bounce back for him, but he's probably going to get the Surtain treatment tonight. So
I would not be starting QJ. Like, talk about someone you can't trust. My goodness.
No.
He might be a good real football player, honestly.
QJ?
He might be.
Definitely.
Yes, he might be entering into that territory.
I mean, he's been a better fantasy player than football player this year because of the touchdowns he scored. But yeah, I mean, you could definitely do worse than Quentin Johnson this week. I don't think I would do it, but all the more power to you if you do.
Shout out Tim Patrick. Way to make your way back onto some fantasy football rankings. What a legend.
He's just a Dan Campbell guy.
He is a Dan
Campbell. He moves like he's in mud, but I'll tell you what, he could catch a football.
He's a Danny Camp guy. Yeah, he's a camp guy for sure. All right, that's it. Those are the rankings. We got one more ranking show. I don't know how we're gonna do it with the holidays, but we've come to an end of basically another season. Kind of nuts, guys. This is kind of.
We've done it again. All thanks to the mean team, man. Slowly but surely, we're growing a little army here, and we will not quit until we've taken over.
Little army, I like that. You're trying to militarize us, man.
We are. This is a coup of the fantasy space.
January
we
6th,
are. People are calling us the South Korean Prime Minister of the Fantasy Football Podcast.
That is crazy, dog.
Crazy. Yeah, man. All right, we get your news headlines from us too, man. So before we get out of here, what do you guys think about Luigi, man? All right, everybody, you have a great weekend. Win some matchups. Tell us how you did in the comments below. We always appreciate it. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time.